G'day traders, 1 minute mindset reset. Today we're talking about something my mentor Bill McLaren taught me, and that is that there is no such thing as probabilities in the market, only possibilities. And the critical thing to understand when you go to the screen each day is that we can have a thesis, we can have a signal day, we can have levels, but it's always an if this then that scenario. And making sure that you're prepared technically, but also you're in the correct headspace. You understand where you're at in the template. You can understand if you're up high, understand if you're down low. And then when the market begins to trade, if it confirms or completes a setup, then we possibly have a trade entry. But it's an always if this then that scenario. If I get into this trade or if this happens, then I'm going to do that. If I'm in this trade and I'm in profits, then I'm going to do this. If the market moves stronger than I thought, then I'm going to do this. If the market doesn't move as I expected it would, then I'm going to do this. If this, then that scenarios, because number one, that's what will enable you to adapt and adjust. That's what will enable you to execute flawlessly if a trade does indeed set up and complete an entry. And also it will enable you to protect yourself if you're in a trade and it doesn't come to fruition or it begins to work against you. If this, then that scenarios. Possibilities, not probabilities. If you are not emotionally oriented when you go to the screen, guess what will happen? Who knows what will happen? You'll react. We're not in the business of reacting. We're in the business of trading our trading plan, executing our trade setups, managing the trade itself, managing our risk, managing ourselves. I talk about taking trades, locking in the money, and getting off the screen. Today's a perfect scenario of that. We had CPI, and these are the types of days that traders will hang around and continue to trade because there's lots of movement everywhere. And in the past, these are the types of days that traders can come unstuck on or undo a lot of good. They might have taken a loss and they're trying to get back to the high water mark, or they might have made some profits and now they're trying to get more. And inevitably, this is the type of day that traders can end up getting caught in because it's auctioning in both directions. We have major red news 3 days in a row, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in the US session. Major red news. So think about that. That could be a 3-day setup in itself, which is potentially why we did not see a first bounce on any of the pairs. But we saw some excellent trades set up not only after the news, but also in the New York Open from highs of days and low of days. So key thing is having an if this, then that scenario planned out, mapped out, not only in your application in terms of a technical approach, but in managing yourself. As I mentioned yesterday's video, all the things that I did, I'm responsible for, good and bad, mostly bad. But the bad mistakes that you make, the losing trades that you take, are where your greatest lessons will lie. Not just on the chart, but in yourself, in your behavior, in your process, in your day-to-day routine. I say this over and over again. Mike Bellafiore says it. How good can you get? Only you can answer that. Nobody else can answer it, because when you shut the door and you're in behind closed doors, nobody else knows what you're up to. Nobody knows what's going on between your ears. But if you can master yourself, master your edge, trade your edge. So every time you go to take a trade, ask yourself, is this a best trade setup? Is this a trade setup? Does this look like my best trade setups that could make me a lot of money? If you can't identify what those look like, you shouldn't be trading. So hopefully that makes sense. Possibilities, not probabilities. Know what your highest possibility type setups are. Know what they look like. Know how they'll set up. Know when they'll set up. What time is it? And then execute them when they present. Keep it simple, traders. Focused on the best trading setups. We have 2 more days of major red news. Protect yourself, protect your capital. Focus on your best trade setups, and may the markets go with you.